we're really excited to be here. And this is our inaugural cooking class. And we wanted to share something easy, something that you actually might even have some of the ingredients already in your pantry. So it's not exactly a total dump soup, but it is a nice, it's an elegant Tuscan bean soup. So I love Tuscan flavors. Got a little bit of Parmesan, and then we're going to enrich it with 2 cups of spinach. And spinach right now it's in season. You can easily swap that out for kale or, be brave. Try some escarole. I know you probably never tried that. It actually is one of my favorites. Swiss chard, any of those, just so we can get that wonderful fiber and all of those antioxidants from that deep green, fresh vegetable. And if you don't have that, okay, frozen spinach is fine too. I will not, judge. No judging here. And then, simple ingredients. We've got celery, we've got a red onion, and my favorite, and I mean healthier, nothing healthier than fresh garlic. Okay. Um, 1 clove is plenty. And I do try to emphasize to all of my students, you know, get the fresh. Um, the benefits of this clove of garlic are huge. Some people actually just eat a clove of garlic a day. I don't know if I want to be around them that day, but lots of Italian grandmas, and they're living what till their 90s, so they're doing something right. They're eating Tuscan bean soup and chewing on garlic. And we're going to use a little extra virgin olive oil because why not? We're going to Italy. Italy produces lots of olive oil. You don't have to use the most expensive olive oil when you're cooking and making a soup. Save that really pricey one and keep it in your fridge for your salad, for your drizzle on those gorgeous tomatoes or roasted beets or something. So I'm going to get started here. And we always start with how do you hold your knife? I know you probably already know how to do this anyway, but maybe you don't. So get your knife. I prefer you not using serrated, nice sharp knife. And we call it the pinching the blade method. So you put your thumb on one side, and I have a nice little indent on my knife right at the end of the blade near the handle. And then I put my pointer finger on the other side, and then it kind of grabs it. And then my other 3 fingers should fit around the handle. This is a big handle, but I'll make it work. Okay. And then you have a lot of control this way. And I only really change that grip when I'm working on the garlic, which I will show you. I want to get all of my mise en place, which means all my ingredients in place. I pretty much have everything out, and I want to chop it up. So I'm going to be sauteing it immediately. I'm going to go from cutting board into the pot. So I'm going to pour some of my olive oil into my pot. I think it's probably about a teaspoon. Don't need a lot. Just going to heat that up slowly. And it calls for a red onion, which I thought was interesting. I'll go even more slowly on that. I'm taking off the heat till I'm ready. I need to cut this in half, but first I really need to stop it from rolling all over the place. So let's get this onion stabilized. I'm going to cut one end off only and not the hairy end. Keep the hairy end on there, okay? All right, so I'm going to cut that off. Alfonso, you still with me, dear? I hope so. Did you spotlight my video? All right. So it's stabilized. It's not going to roll off my board at all now. Thank you so much, dear. And then I can just lay it flat, and then I'm going to cut it in half again. Now, this probably isn't the freshest onion, but I'm going to use it anyway. I didn't want to buy a whole nother bag of red onions. See, it's got a little bit of this green in here. Maybe use this one, but that's fine. Now I'm just going to take off that outer papery stuff and all that slippery skin. take that off too. You don't want that because it will make your hand slip. And when you're dicing, that's no bueno. Okay, so I only need half. So now I'm going to lay that down. Get the rest of this off. And usually with onions, you want to work quickly because I really don't want to cry. Today, it's not a crying day. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that there's sort of a wall right before the end of this onion by the root. Then I'm just going to slice all the way through. See, my other hand is just kind of scrunching down. Then I'll hold it, cutting all the way through to the bottom, all the way down to the cutting board, but not through to the end. This makes it so much easier to make a dice, and I'm going to turn it, and you'll see they're just instant onion dice. I think we can all work with that. Now, the finer you make your slices the long way, the smaller your dice will be. Now I'm going to put this, I usually use my knife as kind of the carrier. There we go. Put it right into my pot. Alfonso has a term for this. This is how his grandmother cooks. I don't want to dirty up any more dishes than I have to. Okay, so I've got the oil in there. I've got my onions, got my fire on low. And now I'm going to cut up one stalk of celery. I may have gotten a little bit over. Now,
you love that lesson, Stephanie.
I'm sorry?
That stew cooking lesson that I told you from the cutting board to the pot.
I love it. I copy it all the time. Now, I like to see my celery. I think it looks pretty. So I picked out kind of the skinnier stalks. And then I'm just slicing them rather thinly because they look so pretty, you know, that shape. And they're going right on in. I said it called for one, but since these are skinny, I'm just going to add a little bit extra. And then I'll probably save that to nibble. And they're going, and they're flying off the board. Here we go into the soup. Little stir, dirty. I hope this pot's big enough. Well, I scrubbed this baby this morning. This is actually one of my mother's pots, so I don't even know how old it is, but it's beautiful. I love it. All right, now I've got my garlic. I've saved that for last because it gets kind of sticky and I wanted these to cook a little bit more because you're going to add your garlic. I usually add it after my veggies have kind of softened up and become a little translucent. And it doesn't take long for that to happen. Maybe like 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, I don't know if you just saw me. I did it too quickly. Put your knife on top of the garlic. I'll do another one just in case you missed it. Well, first cut off that little dried up nubby piece on the end. We don't like that. Cut that little baby off. Then put your knife firmly with your blade pointing away from you on top of that piece of garlic. And then come down on the blade. Don't be afraid. And you'll actually hear it. You'll hear it kind of smash a little bit. And this is really good because it starts getting the garlic, you know, all those phytonutrients mixed up together. And then that makes this even more fantastic, healthy nutrient. So garlic's pretty amazing. You actually want it, diced. You want it mashed up, minced. Don't poo-poo a garlic press. If you got one, use it. I had some because I poo-pooed them because I was like, oh, well, I could just dice it. I need to find it again. I was really bummed. My mom had 2 of them and I don't know where they are. So if you can see, I have changed my grip a little bit. I moved my hand down onto the handle and it's a looser a looser grip so I can do this up and downy, professionally looking dice. Mince, and then see the garlic sticks to everything. Just carefully get it off. Okay, this is more garlic than I need, but I like it garlicky. Not going to be breathing on anybody later. That's the good thing about virtual classes. You're not really breathing on anybody. Okay. I can see they're actually starting to get a little shiny in my pan. This is good. Again, it's on low, so I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. They do say freeze-dried garlic. You will still get the nutritional antioxidant healthy benefits from. But garlic powder, you do not get the benefits from. So remember that. And you know what? Even if you do buy a whole head of garlic, put it in the freezer. They store beautifully in the freezer. So I really just want to stir this up until my garlic is fragrant. I can smell it. It's all cooking very gently. I might do a little more splash of olive oil. Just another 1/4 teaspoon. Yum, yum, yum. It's starting to smell like home. So I'm going to add my broth, 2 cups of chicken broth or vegetable broth. I mean, if you use vegetable broth, this actually would be a vegetarian soup. So there you go. Put your broth in, 2 cups, and do try to buy the low salt, low sodium, low fat broth. I'm going to crank up my heat a little bit more here now that I've got all the goodies in it. Uh-oh, don't go up. There we go. Okay, I've got that. I've got my beans, which calls for the Great Northern beans, so you could buy your dried beans, soak them, or you could use canned beans. But again, try to buy the low sodium ones, and I have rinsed them because that helps even more, or if you didn't buy low sodium beans, definitely rinse them. Okay, so this was a whole can. These are actually the cannelli beans. I figured it's Italian. I'm going to use an Italian bean. Okay, so I got my beans in there. They're already cooked, so I mean we're halfway there. This is very easy. Then I have a whole can of low sodium, again, diced tomatoes. You gotta love canned diced tomatoes. They're delicious, and especially this time of year, if you're gonna buy some beautiful tomatoes, on the shelves at the grocery store, and don't they look beautiful? But they have no flavor. Okay. So yeah, I just bought those ones for look. But if you are going to use that, you could cut up 2 tomatoes, and that would be fine. Okay. I actually put my fresh tomatoes from the summertime. I buy some organic ones at a local farm here because they are absolutely spectacular. And I just put the whole tomato in the freezer. I learned this trick, and I am so happy that I did, because then when it's time to use it, I mean, yes, it's going to be a little bit mushy, but the skin slides right off it. And it's just as good, if not better, than something out of the can. So yeah, just throw everything in the freezer. The avocados, got the garlic. So you should try it too. And it lasts so much longer, and those tomatoes are so delicious. So, okay, I've got my tomatoes. Now I'm going to toss in a teaspoon of oregano. So good old dried oregano. If you're fancy schmancy and you have some oregano growing in your garden, go grab it. And I'm just sort of rubbing it a little bit. And then I have a little bit of thyme. I actually bought a little bit of fresh thyme. I'm going to throw those babies in. My thyme usually winters, but I don't know. I guess it's been about four years, and it's not looking so good. Plus, I can't find it. I think my rosemary took over it, and it snowed, so um, I definitely am not going to go digging in the snow. Now, of course, we're going to have to add some red pepper flakes. I don't know how many it said to add, and I don't care because they're really good. So I'm just going to plop a few in. There we go. Now I've cranked it up, and I want this to just to simmer a little bit. We're not going to have 20 minutes, and I didn't have the magic pot on the side with the already cooked recipe because I didn't really think that would be necessary. So it's got everything. It's got the thyme in it. It's got the fresh oregano. I just did want to show you the fresh thyme. I love it. When you can buy them already in the dirt at the grocery store. Sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. But it's in dirt, so I put it in a little pot, and I'm going to see if this baby lasts. But there are so many different kinds of thyme, and thyme is just really treasured. And it's a very Mediterranean herb, as is oregano. We love oregano.
Chef Rose, how long does that time normally last?
Well, I'm hoping this one will last until spring. So, with the indoors with the little grow light on it,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna, or put it in the windowsill, and I'm hoping it'll last a while. But if you're gonna use it, I've done this to mint, and I've like cut off practically the whole thing, and the mint new leaves came, and then I don't know, and then it just croaked. But it lasted a couple weeks, and I got all excited when the new leaves came. But this is so young that even the stems are actually really, it hasn't gotten woody at all. So you could just, normally the stems are super woody, but they're still full of flavor. And really, I don't like, sitting here and pulling each little individual leaf off of the thyme. So I usually just throw the whole thing in. And even when the leaves are woody, the stems are woody, it's very easy to see the stem and take it out. Okay. Now, oregano, what I was going to tell you is just, it has so much history, and, all herbs, fresh herbs, they have beneficial qualities to them. Um, but oregano has got some fun stories. It was a gift from, was it Aphrodite to humans? And actually, it translates to mountain of joy. So, if you've got fresh oregano or any oregano, you're bringing everybody joy. It brings me joy, period. So this I bought the spinach. It's not the baby spinach, but it was triple washed. And I picked through it. I think the size is pretty decent. And I did take off, if I saw a big, ugly stem, I pulled that off. But actually this is probably more than we need. I mean, if you wanted to cut it up, that's up to you. I think it's pretty easy just to rip it. Or if you had some scissors, you could just get some scissors out. Like I said, this is probably more than we need. Oh, good. So this is coming to a boil. And I'm over here burning my spoon. It's a good and used spoon when it's partially burned. Oh, goodness. I actually do want to taste this a bit. Now, if you've noticed, we haven't added any salt. So, and I want you to remember that because we have added the red pepper flakes, and that kind of helps you with the salt thing. A little bit of heat, just like a squirt of lemon juice. And I want to taste it. And there is a little bit of salt, even in the no salt, beans and the no salt. There's still a little bit of salt. So always taste it. When you're cooking, please taste what you're cooking and see what it needs. But right before we serve this, you see, we're also going to grate fresh Parmesan Reggiano cheese on it. And as you all know, cheese has a lot of salt. Okay, hopefully I'm not going to burn my tongue now. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, just like this. Oh, it's got a nice kick to it. Yum. This is delicious. Like I said, just the way it is. I think I need another taste. And like I said, I like things a little spicy, and I honestly don't think it even needs any salt. So the Parmesan cheese will be really nice. Mm, yeah. I am going to add some fresh cracked black pepper. Okay. I think that just always enhances every dish. And again, I emphasize freshly cracked black pepper because it has wonderful digestive. It helps your digestion. I mean, this is scientifically proven. Okay, this is nice. So you think I can get all this spinach in here? I'm gonna try. That's what I love about spinach. It looks like it's like too much, and then you get it in here and it turns into nada. So this was a little bit more than 2 cups, and 2 cups is what it called for. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that and see how this works out. I mean, when it said 2 cups of liquid, I was like, that is not very much. And I don't know about you, but I do like my spinach just barely wilted, as opposed to cooked for another, hour. I like that beautiful green. Yeah, turn this down. And actually, you know what? I think we have this is like a meal in one. You can see it looks really colorful and beautiful. And I'm ready to eat. Okay, so I think maybe it's time to get some of this soup into my tummy. And I'm sorry that you're not gonna, or maybe if you're cooking along with me, hey, you're gonna get it too. And I mean, and this is such an affordable dish to make. And I think everybody in your household is gonna be super, super satisfied, even those bean haters.
I think they will be as well. And also, while I have you all's attention, I wanted to mention something to you all. We have an initiative. It's called Text to Give. So what you would do, you would text Be More Kitchen. That's Be More Kitchen to 41444. Again, that's Be More Kitchen to 41444. And you can be a blessing to our program as we are being a blessing to the community. So again, that's Be More Kitchen to 41444. And I'll also put that in the chat box just in case. But Chef, that soup looks delicious and it's perfect for a cold winter day such as this.
Absolutely. But we can't forget, get your microplane, get your little grater, whatever you can find. A little bit of fresh Parmesan. I want to say a little bit of bread too, but whole wheat. And there you have it. Yummy. Where's my spoon? All right. I am very excited because this looks delicious. And I think it's going to be something that you'll go to, easy to make. Look how easy this was. You barely had to cut and chop anything up. So I thank you for joining me. Thank you for being in my home, in my kitchen, Simple Cooking with Heart Kitchen in my home. And we do hope that you will join us for more. We have classes regularly scheduled every Thursday. And I think this Thursday, well, there's always something wonderful. So explore and come cook with us. Thank you so much.